The company just handed out year-end bonuses. Even though I am the top sales champion, I only got 5,000 bucks. Meanwhile, that guy who just knows how to broodie got a whopping 50,000. No screaming, no drama. I just sit right down at my workstation and start binge watching a show. The boss walks by, looking totally confused. Why isn't the top sales champion out there hustling for new business deals? I just smile, pointing right at the logistics guy, and tell the boss to send him. High bonus means high skills, right? My prestigious title as the annual top seller got frozen at a measly 5,000 bonus. When the finance director clears his throat and reads my name with that number, the entire sales department goes dead silent. The complicated looks my coworkers are throwing my way hold a mix of genuine pity, some obvious gloating, and a whole lot of pure gossip. I just sit right there at my spot, face completely blank without any reaction. Right after that, the finance director's voice pitches way up, carrying a very obvious hint of flattery. Logistics staff, Vuong Luke year-end bonus, 50,000. Wow, the whole crowd lets out a collective gasp of pure shock. Vuong Luke, a guy whose daily grind is just brewing the boss's tea, watering the ornamental plants, and sometimes grabbing packages for everyone. Right at this moment, he stands up with a bright red, glowing face, continuously bowing to everyone around him. He puts on this whole act, looking just like he just closed some massive, game-changing deal. As for me, Tran Fong, I single-handedly carried 40% of this entire company's sales. During the absolute worst market slump, I spent 3 grueling months slowly chewing my way to successfully sign a massive 5-year contract with the Veen Dai Group, an absolute industry giant. My bonus is 5,000, his is 50,000. I didn't even go collect it. A coworker actually had to bring that envelope back for me. That incredibly flimsy red paper sitting there on the table looks especially offensive right now. I just push it straight to the side, plug my headphones in, open up a video app, and click on a really popular urban drama. I don't angrily question anyone, and I definitely don't throw my things around and storm off. I just sit there, adjust my office chair to the most comfortable angle, and openly start watching my movie without a single care. People are walking back and forth across the office. Every single person passing my desk instinctively lightens their footsteps, tossing me these incredibly complicated, lingering looks. I just treat it like I don't see a single thing. On my phone screen, the female lead is crying bitterly because she got deeply betrayed. I am thoroughly enjoying the show. I even dig a bag of potato chips right out of my drawer, rip it open, and start loudly crunching away. In this entire sales department, my spot is the only one radiating a peaceful cucumber scent, completely detached from all the stressful reality around me. A familiar classic cologne suddenly wafts over, mixed with the very clear sense of annoyance, as leather shoes loudly clack to a halt right next to my workstation. Tran Fong. Boss True's deep voice drops from right above my head, clearly trying to hold back some serious anger. Now, check out this absolute power move. I don't budge, not even bothering to hit pause. The couple on screen is crying, and I just give a lazy hum. You are our top sales champion, and it is still working hours. Are you seriously sitting here watching a TV drama? His heavy tone drops even lower now. All around the office, typing sounds start fading out as every single person immediately perks their ears up to eavesdrop. I finally hit the pause button, slide my office chair back, turn myself around, and slowly look up right at him. Boss True Hong, the absolute owner of our company, a man in his 40s, hair meticulously gelled back, always wearing a perfectly ironed, expensive suit. Right now his brows are locked incredibly tight, eyes full of sharp scrutiny and pure dissatisfaction. He probably expects me to act like everyone else, either swallowing the bitter pill in silence or blowing up in massive rebellion. Too bad I am choosing neither option today. I just smile, pointing straight at Vuong Luke, who is currently on his tiptoes watering a pothos plant nearby. Boss True, didn't you explicitly say the year-end bonus completely represents our actual ability? Vuong Luke got 50,000, which is exactly 10 times my amount, so his skills must definitely be 10 times better than mine, right? How could I possibly dare to bother myself with tiny, insignificant tasks like closing deals anymore? You really have to let Vuong Luke handle those. Top talent should be used for the big jobs. My voice isn't loud, but it's crystal clear. The whole office goes dead silent. You can literally hear the breeze blowing from the central air conditioner loud and clear. You can just feel his panic kicking in. Boss True's face visibly stiffens up. He definitely didn't expect me to drag this unfair situation into the open using his own flawless logic. Tran Fong, exactly what kind of attitude is this? He tries using his heavy boss authority to pressure me. Are you seriously doubting our company's final decisions? I wouldn't dare. I shake my head, keeping my face looking incredibly sincere. I am fully supporting the company's brilliant choices right now, aren't I? The company has a truly fantastic eye, digging up an amazing hidden talent like Vuong Luke. I honestly couldn't be happier for our future. From now on, our company's entire sales record completely relies on Vuong Luke. As for me, I will just keep watching shows and studying advanced tea brewing techniques, striving to earn that sweet 50,000 bonus next year too. Boss True's face shifts from angry red to pale green, and his pointing finger is actually trembling. He desperately wants to blow up, but can't find a single excuse. Because every word I said aligns perfectly with his own company policy. Because, after all, he personally approved those exact year-end bonuses. Now that I'm playing right along with his own twisted logic, it completely chokes him up. All the coworkers around us are ducking their heads down, but their shoulders are visibly shaking. I know they are all trying incredibly hard not to laugh. Fine, very good. Boss True takes a deep breath, forcefully suppressing his surging rage. Tran Fong, don't forget you still have quite a few major clients to keep a close eye on. Over at Vien Dai, didn't Boss Lu schedule a meeting this afternoon to discuss the contract renewal? Details? He is totally trying to remind me of my actual value, while also offering me a convenient little step down. I just nod yeah, we have an appointment. Boss True's expression relaxes a bit, completely assuming I am finally backing down. So he starts to say more, but I cut him off right there, pointing my finger straight at Vuong Luke again. Vuong Luke is super capable, right? Let him handle the negotiations. Handing over a crucial client like Boss Lu to a 5,000 yuan employee like me. Are you really going to feel perfectly at ease? You absolutely have to send our 50,000 yuan genius out there to truly show our company's utmost sincerity. After dropping that, I don't even spare him a second glance. I just spin my chair, put on my headphones, and hit play on my movie. Crunch. I casually toss another potato chip into my mouth. Right behind me, Boss True is breathing incredibly heavy. I can physically feel a burning stare trying to melt a hole straight through my back. But in the end, he says absolutely nothing at all and just turns around to leave. Those leather shoes stomp away, hurried and heavy, echoing the total vibe of a defeated man. Through my headphones, the female lead's best friend is totally roasting the trashy guy, and the corners of my mouth just keep lifting higher. The real good show is only just beginning now. 2 p.m. sharp. The internal phone on my desk rings right on schedule. I glance over. It is the receptionist calling. I ignore it entirely and just let it ring. It rings for about a minute before stopping. 2 minutes later, my personal cell starts vibrating, and the name Boss True is flashing right on the screen. I hit silent and flip the phone face down on the desk. Everyone else in the office completely gets the vibe without a single word spoken. They know Boss Luo from Vien Dai has finally arrived. Boss Luo, full name Luo Kwok Dong, is the strict purchasing director for the massive Vien Dai group, a smiling face that is notoriously difficult to deal with. Back then, just to sign him, I accompanied the guy for endless tea sessions for 3 whole months. I spent 2 months chatting about absolutely everything under the sun before he finally opened up. No one in this entire company can take over the specific contract except me. Boss True clearly understands this harsh reality too. That is exactly why he is panicking now. The phone buzzes tirelessly, over and over and over again, until it finally gives up and stops. Right after that, Boss True's figure pops up at the sales department door. Following closely behind him is a heavily sweating Vuong Luke. Tran Fong. Boss True's voice has completely lost its previous calm composure, leaving behind only sheer, undisguised impatience. Boss Luo is here. Come with me to the meeting room right now. Acting like I just woke up, I take off my headphones and stare at him, looking totally dazed. Boss True. Which Boss Lu again? Boss Lu from Vien Dai. Did you seriously forget? Boss True rapidly marches right up to my face. Lowering his voice, he practically grinds out every single word through his teeth. Stop throwing a tantrum, just finish negotiating this order, and I will personally return your bonus to you. Does this guy really think this is about the money? Nope, this has never been about the cash at all. This is purely about basic respect. I stand up. I stretch my arms out, my joints, letting out a series of loud pops. Boss True, how can you flip-flop like this? How can a company decision be changed just because you say so? How do you expect the other employees to view you now? I put on this expression, full of deep, genuine concern for him. Not to mention, I have already decided to learn from Comrade Vuong Luke here. He is the true future and hope of our company. I walk right around my desk, stepping up to Vuong Luke, and affectionately pat his shoulder. Vuong Luke violently flinches the second I pat him, his face turning completely pale. He's just a guy coasting by on being the boss's nephew to survive in the company. He has never actually faced a high-pressure situation like this before. Vuong Luke, I have so much faith in you. I tell him with absolute sincerity. Boss Lu is our biggest client by far. The renewal amount this time is going to be at least 8 figures. If you successfully negotiate this, forget 50,000. Next year's 500,000 year-end bonus is all yours. Go on. Now is the time to show off your real skills. Now pay attention here. I keep my voice totally normal, just loud enough for the whole office to catch it. Words like 8 figures and 500,000 drop like massive bombs going off right inside everyone's minds. The way they are all looking at Vuong Luke shifts in an instant. At first, they were only watching to mock a guy with connections, but right now, they are watching a complete idiot about to ruin a massive 8-figure deal. Vuong Luke's legs turn to absolute jelly, shooting Boss True a desperate cry for help. While Boss True's face has gone completely dark, he absolutely knows. I have completely roasted him over an open fire here. If he forces me to go now, he is openly admitting to the entire company that his previous decision was a massive mistake. Admitting that Vuong Luke is absolutely useless, where would he even hide his face as the boss? But if he refuses to let me go, Boss True, Vuong Luke is practically about to cry. Tran Fong, you shut your mouth right now. Boss True barks out quietly, waving his hand in total frustration. He glares right at me, bloodshot streaks practically flashing in his eyes. We just stare each other down for 10 agonizing seconds. For 10 whole seconds, the office is so terrifyingly quiet, you can actually hear everybody's heart beating. Finally, looking exactly like a totally deflated balloon, he just gives up and speaks. Vuong Luke, follow me into the meeting room. He grinds his teeth so hard, pushing those words out. You just wait and see, Turn Fong. I just smile and wave him right through. I watch Boss Triu march toward the conference room with Ving LC practically stumbling behind him, then settle right back into my comfortable office chair. No more movies for me this time. I boot up our company's internal client management system right as the door to meeting room B clicks firmly shut. I casually log into the database and track down the master file for the Vinai group. It holds the exact time, location, and conversation logs for every single interaction I ever had with Boss Lu. Even personal notes about his favorite type of tea and which prestigious university his son attends. I typed every single word and character myself, by hand. Sure, this data is technically company property, but more than that, it represents my pure hard work. I carefully select the absolute core sections of that file, the detailed records of Boss Lu's private numbers, and all our unrevealed trump cards for this critical negotiation. Then I hit delete. A warning pop-up appears on screen. Are you absolutely sure you want to permanently erase these records from the system? Without a single shred of hesitation, I click confirm. Once that is done, I casually open up the files of several other major clients, like Boss L, who loves fishing. Our previous contract was actually signed right out there by the edge of the reservoir. Chairman Turng has a daughter who just got into a music conservatory, so I specifically hunted down a rare classical vinyl record just to gift her. To these major clients, the person they actually trust and recognize is not our big company. It is me, Turn Fong. I take every single piece of personal relationship data built up inside those client profiles. That priceless personal data cannot be measured with money, yet it is the absolute key to closing our deals. Item by item, I wipe it clean. And no, I am not destroying company property here. I am simply taking back what rightfully belongs to me in the first place. My own brain is the true customer database for this company. Now get ready for the fallout. 20 minutes later, the conference room door FLIs open as Boss Triu, face turning pale green, storms straight toward my desk. Turn Fong, where is that backup data for the D-LAN HGG proposal Boss Lu needs? He screams that Ving LC cannot find it anywhere in the system, loud enough for the whole office to hear. I look up, acting completely innocent. Oh, that file? I casually tell him I must have accidentally deleted it like junk while cleaning my computer. He completely flips out. Accidentally deleted? Boss Triu's voice jumps 8 octaves higher. That data is worth millions of yuan, and you just casually claim you wiped it all out by accident? With nothing left to say, I just shrug my shoulders. My skills are only worth 5,000 yuan. You cannot really expect me to handle everything perfectly, can you? If I were actually that incredible at my job, how could my year-end bonus only be 5,000? Am I right? Boss Triu is shaking so hard with rage, he points a trembling finger at me. Speechless for quite a while. Right at that exact moment, Boss Lu's impatient voice echoes from the meeting room, demanding to know if Triu actually has another copy ready or not. He loudly reminds them his time is precious. Boss Triu jumps in panic, instantly drops our argument, and frantically scrambles right back into that conference room. I watch him run off and give a cold chuckle. Without that critical data, let us see how he manages to negotiate this deal. Sure enough, 10 minutes late. Slam. The meeting room door flies open as a furious Boss Lu stomps right out into the hall. His assistant trails right behind him with a dark expression, loudly asking Boss Triu if this is really how their company does business. He yells about them sending some clueless rookie who can barely even form a sentence to negotiate a massive multi-million-dollar contract with him. He demands to know where their professionalism is, as his furious voice echoes loudly across the entire office for everyone to hear. Boss Triu chases right after him, forcing a desperate, humble smile while apologizing over and over, begging Boss Lu to believe this is all just a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? Boss Lu stops in his tracks, points right at Boss Triu's nose, and lays down his absolute final ultimatum. He declares that for this renewal contract, unless he is dealing with Turn Fong, he refuses to negotiate with anyone else. If Turn Fong handles it, he will bring the signed contract tomorrow morning. But if they switch to anyone else, sorry. But the Vinai Group does not need this partnership to stay alive and thriving. With that said, Boss Lu steps straight into the elevator without looking back. Suddenly, the entire office sinks into dead silence. Every single eye in the room slowly shifts right onto me. The top sales champion, who is supposedly only worth 5,000 yuan. Boss Triu stands completely frozen in place like a weathered stone statue. His face suddenly drained of all color. His pale lips tremble slightly, but he cannot manage to utter a single coherent word. You can feel the atmosphere flip completely. All those nosy, gossiping stares from earlier instantly transform into pure awe and careful scrutiny. They probably never imagined that an ordinary employee could actually push their powerful boss into such a humiliating corner. As for me, the guy causing all this chaos, I just calmly stand up, stroll over to the dispenser, and pour myself a drink. That warm water feels so satisfying going down. I casually carry my cup back to my seat, not even bothering to glance at Boss Triu once the entire time. This calm, silent disrespect hits way harder and cuts much deeper than any furious verbal argument ever could. Boss Triu finally moves. He turns around and takes slow, heavy steps right toward my desk as the surrounding air seems to completely freeze solid. He stops right in front of me, planting both hands firmly onto my desk and leaning his upper body forward in a threatening posture. The pressure is intense. He says my name Turn Fong in a voice sounding rough and raspy, like dry sandpaper. Go apologize to Boss Lu right now and bring that contract back, that is an order. I raise my eyes to look at his furious, red-rimmed glare, calmly asking Boss Triu, is cleaning up this mess really part of my job description? That completely freezes him. I am the top sales champion here, not your personal crisis manager. Cleaning up the massive disaster that you and your incompetent nephew created does not really fall under my duties at all. I slowly continue. Of course, if you insist on making me do it, it is not entirely impossible. According to labor laws, this counts as overtime work. So we need to renegotiate the price right now. You dare talk money with me? Boss Triu explodes with fury all over again. But why would I not dare? I just smile. How much is an employee who can save an 8-figure contract worth to you? 5,000 or 50,000? I put heavy emphasis on those two exact numbers. Boss Triu's chest heaves violently, glaring right at me like a cornered wild beast running out of options. I know he is making his final struggle. His logic tells him he has to bow down to me, but his pride and authority as a boss make it impossible to accept this harsh reality. Fine, then. After a long pause, he grits his teeth and spits out a deal. Just bring back Boss Lu's contract, and I will compensate you with 100,000 in bonuses. Wow, 100,000. A collective gasp of pure shock echoes across the whole office. From 5,000 jumping up to 100,000. That is definitely no small number. Everyone thinks I'm going to take the sweet deal and stop. But instead, I shake my head. Boss Triu, it seems you still do not understand the problem. I look him dead in the eyes, emphasizing every single word. This is not about money anymore. I suddenly feel this job is somewhat beneath me now. Saying that, I open a document on my computer and start typing away. The title reads 4 massive words, letter of resignation. When I slap that freshly printed, piping hot resignation letter right down in front of Boss Triu, the expression on his face goes way beyond mere shock. It is an absolute, complete, and total mental collapse. Maybe he assumes all my actions are just a petty retaliation and a power move because I was unhappy with my year-end bonus. He really thought he could just use cash to appease me. It never crossed his arrogant mind that I would actually quit for good. He picks up the paper, his fingers shaking uncontrollably. Turn Fong, do you even know what you are doing right now? You are throwing away your entire job over a tiny minor issue? Boss Triu, this is definitely no minor issue. I calmly correct him right there. This is about human dignity. I worked my absolute heart out for this company for a whole year, generating almost half of its entire profit. And in the end, my worth is somehow less than a nepotism hire who only knows how to pour tea. You used 5,000 yuan to tell me that Turn Fong is only worth that pitiful amount in your eyes. So right now, I am using this resignation letter to tell you that your precious company is just as cheap and worthless in my eyes. My voice is not loud, but it slams like a heavy hammer into everyone's chest across the office. Several veteran employees show deeply complex emotions in their eyes. You see the difference here? They all chose to suffer in silence, while I chose to flip the table completely. Boss Triu points a trembling finger at me, so furious he can barely even speak. You think this company will stop running just because you leave? Turn Fong, me tell you something, the earth keeps spinning no matter who is missing, so do not dare regret this later. I will never regret a thing. I just smile and start packing up my stuff. My personal belongings really do not amount to much. Just a water cup, a little succulent plant, and a few books. Right at that moment, the office door pushes open and Deputy Sales Manager L walks in. He looks at the intense standoff between Boss Triu and me, then glances at the resignation letter on my desk with a heavy sigh. Turn, do you really want to leave? I give a firm nod. L is a gentle guy who normally treats me pretty well. He steps up beside me and quietly advises, do not be hasty. Boss Triu is a bit short-sighted, but the company's foundation is still solid. Have you even found a new place to go yet? Before I can even answer, another voice suddenly interrupts right over us. Turn Fong wants to leave? That is great, Boss Triu. I have been saying this forever. Arrogant employees who refuse management just because they got a little success should be kicked out early. It is Ving LC, popping out from some dark corner with absolute gloating written all over his face. That incident with Boss Lu completely ruined his reputation, so he dumped all that blame onto my shoulders, thinking that once I am out of here, he will finally be totally safe. What a naive fool. Boss Triu is already drowning in stress, so hearing Ving LC only makes him shoot a razor-sharp glare and growl out. Who gave you permission to speak right now? Get out of here. Ving LC freezes from the yell, his face turning beet red before he awkwardly shrinks back in shame. Boss Triu shifts his gaze back to me, his attitude softening just a little bit. Turn Fong, look, I apologize to you for what happened today. That bonus situation was my own poor judgment. Take back your resignation letter, and let us just go back to normal, all right? He is finally bowing his head, but watch what happens now. It is way too late. Right as I open my mouth to reject him, my phone suddenly rings. It is an unfamiliar number. I tap answer and put it straight on speakerphone. Hello there. Am I speaking to Mr. Turn Fong? A steady male voice comes through the phone. Hello there. I am the Human Resources Director over at HGGV and GIP Corporation. My name is Turn. Mr. Turn, our boss has had his eye on you for a long time now, and we really admire your talent. We want to invite you over to take on the role of our business director. I am wondering if you might be interested in that. HGGV and GIP. Everyone in the office gasps right out loud. That place happens to be our company's single biggest competitor in the entire industry. Boss Triu's face turns paler than a sheet of paper in an instant. I look right at him, a knowing smirk curling on my lips. Business director, I say, deliberately dragging out the words so it sounds extra catchy. But how do I know if you guys are really sincere? On the other end, Director Turn chuckles. Your base salary will be 3 times what you make now, and guaranteed year-end bonuses of at least 7 figures. On top of that, the company is going to provide you with a car worth over 500,000, plus 2% in operational shares. The whole office goes dead silent. Everyone around us is completely stunned by that insane offer. Pay attention here. They aren't just poaching talent. They are literally throwing a mountain of gold right at him. I glance over at Boss Triu, who can barely stand anymore, grabbing onto the cubicle partition next to him while gasping heavily for air. I speak clearly into the phone. Director Turn, I have received your sincerity loud and clear, so I am officially resigning from my job right now. I hang up the phone. The office is so quiet you could hear a pin drop to the floor. Boss Triu looks drained of all his strength, collapsing right into the nearby chair with a completely empty stare. Even in his wildest dreams, he probably never imagined that an employee he viewed as totally replaceable anytime would be valued by his biggest rival as a brilliant director worth millions, or maybe even tens of millions of yuan. This massive psychological blow is somehow even harder for him to accept than losing out on a major, 8-figure business contract would be. I don't bother paying him any more attention, simply lifting up my little cardboard box, holding my water cup and my small succulent plant. Mr. L, everyone, I am heading out first. I nod to greet my coworkers. Turn Fong. Mr. L starts to say something, but in the end he just pats my shoulder. Keep in touch often, wishing you a bright future. For sure, I say, turning toward the exit. Right as I reach the door, a loud voice echoes behind me. I am resigning too. I turn my head. It is Tiu Turn, a kid who joined the company with me and was personally mentored by me for 2 whole years. Now the core pillar of our sales team. He strides right over to my side, his face showing absolute, uncompromising determination. Right after that, 2 more young sales reps stand up and declare we are resigning too. That makes 3 of them. Now, they are all loyal soldiers, trained by my own 2 hands. They walk up behind me, standing silent and steady like 3 solid mountains. The 4 most powerful top performers in the entire sales department. At this exact moment, every single one of us chooses to leave. Boss Trio abruptly raises his head, his eyes completely red-rimmed and filled with utter disbelief. He looks over at the remaining staff members, but every single one of them lowers their heads, not daring to meet his gaze. He finally understands it now. What he lost wasn't just Turn Fong. He has completely lost the trust and loyalty of the entire sales department, and a performance-based company has just been stripped of its most elite, battle-hardened veterans. You know what that means for him. Absolute ruin. You people, Boss Trio points trembling fingers right at our group, his lips quivering. You guys are conspiring together. He stammers out, Turn Fong. It was you. You incited all of them to rebel. I stop walking, turn my head back to look at him, and smile. Boss Trio, you were wrong again. I didn't incite anyone. Your own actions made them see what their future would look like here. They are terrified that one day, they will end up just like me, working relentlessly, all year long, only to lose out to some well-connected brown noser who makes tea. Instead of waiting around to be humiliated, it's much better to leave with dignity. People seek higher ground, just like water flows downward. Somehow, you seem to be the only person here who doesn't understand that simple rule. After saying that, I don't hesitate anymore, leading the 3 guys behind me right out of the company. I dedicated 3 whole years to building. The office door shuts behind us, completely cutting off. Boss Trio's furious, uncontrolled screaming and shouting from inside the room. The sunlight outside feels absolutely beautiful today. 1 week later, I am sitting inside my spacious, brightly lit office over at HGGV and GIP. Outside my window is a stunning view of the most bustling commercial district in this entire city. My official title is now Business Director, managing a brilliant team of 20 people, which includes Tiu Turn and the 2 other loyal guys who jumped ship with me. The owner of HGG is Boss Tin, a very refined-looking gentleman in his early 50s. He didn't throw any flashy welcome parties for me, simply inviting me over to share a cup of tea on my very first day. Director Turn, he says with a warm smile, no need to rush for results right away. Just get comfortable with the environment and lead your team well. I believe in you. This kind of trust is a night and day contrast to Boss Trio's constant suspicion and paranoia, and I definitely did not let down his faith in me. Relying on connections accumulated over many years and a solid understanding of the market, I quickly get into the swing of things. The very first thing I do is make a phone call to Mr. Liu from Vin. I'm Mr. Liu, long time no see. This is Turn Fong speaking. Little Turn, you finally called me back. I heard you jumped ship. Where to? That idiot Trio HGG must be blind. Boss Liu sounds pretty thrilled. I tell him just started at HGGV and GIP. HGG? Huh? Good spot. Way better than your last tiny operation. Boss Liu pauses, then asks right out, so are we still doing that contract renewal we talked about? Absolutely, I tell him with a smile, but now represent HGG, so the price might be 10% higher. 10%? Boss Liu stays quiet for a second. I do not push him. I know he will agree. The plan I handed him includes an added value service he simply cannot refuse, something my old company could never offer. Sure enough, Boss Liu makes a quick call. Let us do it your way, he says. Send the new contract. I will get legal on it fast. Let us grab tea sometime. I'm always game. Hanging up, I breathe a huge sigh of relief. This 8-figure order is completely locked in. It is not just my foundation at the new company. It is the absolute loudest slap in the face to Trio HGG. Over the next month, I reach out to every single major client I used to handle. Boss L, chairman turn. The second they hear I switched companies, they almost instantly agree to move all their business over to HGG. The reason is super simple. We trust you, turn Fong. True loyalty is actually the most precious asset any salesman could ever have. Trio HGG will literally never understand this. As for his company, the following days are not pleasant at all. Every now and then, I catch some wild rumors about the old workplace from Little Turn. Apparently, Boss Trio fired 3 people last week just because they missed their sales targets, and his nephew Ving LC got shoved into sales. The guy runs around every single day doing business stuff, but cannot close a single client. He goes home and gets scolded so hard by Trio, he cannot even recover. Last month, their numbers dropped below 1/3 of what we used to do. Many veterans are scrambling to escape. Hearing this, I feel barely a ripple. Trio HGG brought all this on himself. I thought the story between us was finally over. But get this. One night, a whole month later, I get a phone call I never saw coming. It is Trio HGG calling me. He sounds completely exhausted, totally missing that arrogant energy he used to parade around. Turn Fong. It is me, Boss Trio. Do you need something? My voice stays totally flat, like talking to a complete stranger. Are you free right now? I want to meet up for a bit. The guy is actually using a tone that almost sounds like begging. I'm pretty surprised, but I agree anyway. I want to see what he is planning. We agree to meet at a tea house. It is the exact same spot I used to bring clients to back then. When I arrive, he is already waiting. Barely a month has passed, but he somehow looks like he aged 10 whole years. His hair is messy, eyes sunken in, suit all wrinkled up. The tea in front of him has gone ice cold, untouched. Seeing me, he forces a smile that looks way worse than crying. You came? Turn Fong. I sit across from him. Turn Fong. He rubs his hands, clearly not knowing how to start. I officially apologize to you for everything before. I was wrong. I was blind. I never should have treated you that way. He actually just apologized. You flatter me, boss. Trio, I reply calmly. All of that is in the past. It is not past. He looks up frantically, his eyes completely red. Turn Fong. The company is going under. He tells me that ever since we left, the company's performance has been sliding downhill without any breaks. His old veteran staff cannot be relied on at all, and the new recruits, they completely failed to handle the situation. But the heaviest blow was me taking almost all the major clients. Boss Lu of Vinay, Boss L, Chairman Turn. Those were the pillars holding up half his empire. Now, every single one of those pillars has run straight to his rival. Last month, the company lost over 700,000. His voice is hoarse. If no big orders come in this month, our capital chain snaps. The banks are already chasing loans. I listen in silence, saying nothing. Turn Fong. I am begging you. He suddenly jumps up and bows deeply right in front of me. Please come back and help me. If you just come back, I will give you 20% shares. No, 30. You can be general manager. You call all the shots. He is offering terms way better than HGGV and GIP. A month ago I might have been tempted, but now, you can guess how I feel. Boss Trio look up at him. Do you know something? Back when I first joined your company, my biggest dream was that one day I could actually become your partner. I thought if I worked to the bone, you would finally notice. But you used a 5,000 bonus to tell me my effort meant absolutely nothing. Now that your company is falling apart, you finally remember me, trying to bribe me with those shares. Don't you think it is way too late for that now? My words cut right through him, and his face instantly turns completely pale from pure shock. Turn Fong. I know I was wrong. Please give me one more chance. A chance? I cut him off right then and there. Why should I give you a chance? So who gave me a chance? When you deeply humiliated me in front of everyone, who gave me a chance then? Let me tell you right now, Trio HGG, I'm not some obedient dog you can just call over whenever you want. You personally pushed me away, so do not expect me to ever look back. Whether your company survives or goes bankrupt has nothing to do with me. Standing up, I pull some cash from my wallet and leave it on the table. This tea is on me, so handle your own mess. Then I turn around and walk away, never looking back. Another whole month passes by, and Trio HG's company finally cannot hold on anymore, officially declaring its total bankruptcy. When that news finally reaches me, I'm sitting with Boss Tin, the owner of HGG, carefully reviewing our business plan for the new quarter. Boss Tin looks at me and smiles, pretty ironic, right? Asking, director turn, did your old workplace just go under? Yes, I heard about it. You did a great job, boss. Tin says, pouring me some tea. Dealing with short-sighted bosses requires that exact approach. Just like that, you did not only vent your anger, but you also taught this whole industry a valuable lesson. Talented people are the single most precious asset any company can have. I just smile without saying a word. Instead of feeling ecstatic that my revenge is complete, I mostly feel a calm sense of peace now that the dust has settled. After that fateful day, I never saw Triu HGG in person again. Rumor has it he sold off his company and house just to barely pay off bank loans and cover severance pay for all his former employees. In just a single night, he went from a comfortable middle-class business owner to an ordinary guy, burdened with a mountain of heavy debt. What about Ving LC? He vanished completely without a trace once the company went bankrupt after taking that 50,000 bonus back then. Without his uncle's protection, he is practically nothing. In a massive city like this, I suspect it will be really hard for him to ever find even a halfway decent job again. Life used the harshest possible way to teach both of them the most profound lesson. 1 year later, at HGGV GIMP's annual end-of-year gala, Boss Tin stands proudly on stage with tremendous energy, proclaiming that this past year has been a true takeoff period for our company. Our total company revenue increased by 3 times, and Director Turn from our sales department deserves the single biggest credit for driving this incredible growth. Bright stage spotlights shine directly on me. Thunderous applause erupts from the audience below to celebrate the outstanding contributions made by our very own Director Turn. The board of directors decided to reward Director Turn with a special year-end bonus of. Boss Tin deliberately pauses for a brief moment to build up the suspense. Ready for this? He lifts up a massive red sign, displaying the number 2 million written out in glowing golden text. The whole room explodes. I stand up and bow deeply to the cheering crowd. At this exact moment, I'm not looking at that massive number, but at my hard-working team down in the audience. People like Tiu Turng have tears in their eyes. I know all of us truly deserve this after the past year. Just then, my phone vibrates slightly with a message from an unknown number. Opening it up to read Director Turn. It is Trio HGG here. Right now, I am working as a kitchen assistant washing dishes in a local restaurant. I finally understand just how ridiculously wrong and completely foolish I was about everything in the past. Not begging for your forgiveness here, but I just want to say thank you for showing me clearly back then just what a complete fool I really was. Staring at that message in silence for a long time, I reply with 2 simple words: stay strong. Turning off my screen, I look out at the dazzling night view outside. This entire world is massive, and every single person must eventually face the natural consequences that come with their own choices. As for me, I just chose to be someone who never lets himself down.